Welcome to Sunday School for Sunday, September 8th, 2024, for our junior students, ages 9 to 11. I do not own the rights to this music. Today's Bible basis is coming out of Jeremiah chapter 31, verses 31 through 37. The title of today's story, Growing Closer. They're having a youth rally at my church next Saturday. David announced to Corey, handing him a flyer. Would you like to be my guest? I don't know, Corey responded. I'll see. David was the first friend Corey had made since his family's move to the south end of town. Actually, David wasn't a stranger. They first met in kindergarten, but were separated during the grade school years. The only thing Corey remembered about David then was that he was loud and enjoyed attracting attention. Now, David was still a little loud, but it wasn't about drawing attention to himself. It was all about Jesus. Corey believed in God, but just wasn't as open about sharing his beliefs with others. He admired David's boldness in speaking out about Jesus. It should be fun. David threw in another plug for the youth rally. We have a great youth pastor. He finds such creative ways to help us grow in God. Grow in God? Corey was curious about this. Yay, grow or get to know God, David explained. This intrigued Corey. Could he really get to know God? Do you think it was good for Corey to be reacquainted with David after all these years? Why? What did Corey admire about his friend? Could Corey really get to know God? Would you like to get to know God better? We need to develop and maintain good relationships. Sometimes life's challenges can threaten the closeness of certain relationships. Such was the case with Israel and Judah in their relationship with God. Examining today's text, we find the promises of restoration continuing to echo in the lines of Jeremiah's prophecy. He announces a day when God would establish a new covenant with his people, bringing them into a more intimate fellowship with him. Jeremiah chapter 31, verses 31 through 37. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God. And they shall be my people, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Thus saith the Lord. Heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath. I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. This new covenant would be initiated through the atoning blood sacrifice of Jesus Christ on the cross. So generations to come, which includes you, could experience the forgiveness of sins and the opportunity to know and grow in an intimate relationship with God. Such a relationship is available for you today. True or false questions for today's lesson. Number one, God was going to make a new covenant with the people of Israel and Judah. Is that true or false? Question two, this new covenant would be exactly like the previous one God had made with their ancestors. Is that true or false? Number three, with this new covenant, God would inscribe his laws upon their hearts. Is that true or false? Number four, each one of them would be expected to instruct their neighbor to know the Lord. Is that true or false? Number five, God would forgive their wickedness and remember their sins no more. Is that true or false? The memory verse for today's lesson. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. And that's Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31. Timing and communication are important elements in building a relationship. Your challenge this week is to designate time to spend communicating with God in prayer and allowing Him to speak to you through His Word. John chapter 3, verse 16 says, For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Romans chapter 10, verses 8 through 10. But what saith it? The word is nigh thee, even in thy mouth and in thy heart. That is the word of faith which we preach, that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and shalt believe in thy heart that God hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. Matthew chapter 5, verse 6. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. God bless you as you continue to grow in Jesus Christ. The end. God bless you, and thank you for joining me today.